Why, hello. It's Miss Gina and Pooh Bear. Pooh Bear's reading a story. It's called Winnie the Pooh. A. Milne is the writer. I thought we could read 5 Little Dinosaurs. 5 Little Dinosaurs. I'm going to have to bring you a little closer. How's that? That's better. That's better. Yes, Pooh? Yes. 5 little dinosaurs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One little orange dinosaur, a blue dinosaur, a green dinosaur, a yellow dinosaur, and a purple dinosaur. Did you know there were 5 dinosaurs in different colors? That's pretty cool. 5 little dinosaurs. One little dinosaur, very shy, wishes she had a friend to push her high. She wants to be pushed on the swing. Aw. That's sweet. Hello, said a dinosaur. Why so blue? If you push me, I'll push you. That's a good idea. They'll take turns pushing each other on the swing. 2 little dinosaurs swing and climb on the gym. It's the blue one and the orange one. This one's a T-Rex. There's the itty bitty. They see another dinosaur and say, let's play with him. They see another dinosaur. It's eating carrots. It's a green one. They got a sandbox. 3 little dinosaurs digging in the sand. 3 little dinosaurs. The green one, the orange one, and the blue one. How nice to share. Watch another dinosaur doing a handstand. Hey, said the dinosaurs, can you teach us to do that? Can you do a handstand? I can't do a handstand. 4 little dinosaurs falling with a splat. Oh goodness, look at that. There's an orange one, a blue one, a green one, and a yellow one. And what did they fall in? What is that? Oh, they fell in the mud. You're right. You're so smart. Look at you. They got all muddy, didn't they? They take turns on the slide and land on the ground. Boop, 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 boop. 4. Blue one, yellow one, orange one, green one. The dinosaurs look up and say, look what we found. Look what we found. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one's on the bottom? If you said the green one, you're right. Which one's on the top? The blue one, that's right. Who's in the middle? Yellow and orange. There's green one, an orange one, a yellow one, and a blue one. There are 4 of them. It's another little dinosaur, also very shy, hiding behind a tree nearby. It's another dinosaur. He's shy. Hiding behind that tree nearby. The dinosaurs walk over and say, let's play. They want to play with him. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the orange one, a blue one, a green one, a yellow one, and the purple one wants to play, but he's hiding because he's shy. 5 little dinosaurs have the most wonderful day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 dinosaur, 2 dinosaurs, 3 dinosaurs, 4 dinosaurs, 5 dinosaurs. 1 orange dinosaur, 1 blue dinosaur, 1 green dinosaur, 1 yellow dinosaur, 1 purple dinosaur. Purple, yellow, green, blue, orange. There are 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. And they're all playing. There's our back cover. It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Playing in the park. Count the little dinosaurs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Playing in the park. Found that little book at Marshall's for like $3.99. It's a good deal. They're so cute. I love all the colors. It's very colorful. 5 little dinosaurs. I hope you enjoyed that. So we're going to read with that. Pooh Bear wants to read with us. So, I'm going to get Pooh Bear here. We're going to read Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne. Do you know this is Winnie the Pooh? Pooh Bear, for short. Chapter 1, in which we are introduced to Winnie the Pooh and some bees, and the story begins. Here is Edward Bear coming downstairs now, bump, 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 on the back of his head behind Christopher Robin. It is, as far as he knows, the only way of coming downstairs. Sometimes he feels that there really is another way. If only he could stop bumping for a moment and think of it. And then he feels that perhaps there isn't. Anyhow, here he is at the bottom and ready to be introduced to you. Winnie the Pooh. There is Winnie the Pooh being bump, bump, bump down the stairs on his head. And there's Winnie the Pooh, and he's not bumping on his head. And this is Winnie the Pooh too. Winnie the Pooh Bear. Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, silly willy willy old bear, do do do. Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh. So this is a story about Winnie the Pooh Bear. So when I first heard his name, I said, just as you are going to say, but I thought he was a boy. Then you can't call him Winnie. I don't, but you said he's Winnie the Pooh. Don't you know what there means? It says Winnie the Pooh, not Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh. T-H-E-R, Winnie the Pooh. Do you know what T-H-E-R means? It says, ah, yes, now I do. I say quickly, and I hope you do too, because it is all the explanation you are going to get. Sometimes Winnie the Pooh likes a game of some sort when he comes downstairs, and sometimes he likes to sit quietly in front of the fire and listen to a story. This evening, what about a story? And Christopher Robin, what about a story, I said. Could you very sweetly tell Winnie the Pooh one? I suppose I could. I said, what sort of stories does he like? About himself. Because he's that sort of bear. Oh, I see. So could you very sweetly? I'll try, I said. So I tried. Once upon a time. A lot of stories start that way. A very long time ago now, about last Friday, Winnie the Pooh lived in a forest all by himself. What does under the name mean? He lived all by himself under the name of Sanders. What does under the name mean? Asked Christopher Robin. It means he had the name over the door in gold letters and lived under it. Winnie the Pooh wasn't quite sure, said Christopher Robin. We are introduced. Now I am, said a growly voice. Then I will go on, said I. One day, when he was out walking, he came to an open place in the middle of the forest. And in the middle of this place was a large oak tree. And from the top of the tree, there came a loud buzzing noise. Winnie the Pooh sat down at the foot of the tree, but his head put his head between his paws. Put his head between his paws. And began to think. And he would do that quite a lot. And this is Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne. Winnie the Pooh, first of all, he said to himself, that buzzing noise means something. You don't get a buzzing noise like that, just buzzing and buzzing. Without it meaning something. If there's a buzzing noise, somebody's making a buzzing noise, and the only reason for making a buzzing noise that I know of is because you're a bee. Because you're a bee. Then he thought another long time and said, and the only reason for being a bee that I know of is making honey. And then he got up and said, and the only reason for making honey is so as I can eat it. And he began to climb the tree. We are introduced. He climbed and he climbed and he climbed and he climbed and he sang a little song to himself. It went like this. Isn't it funny how a bear likes honey? Buzz, buzz, buzz. I wonder why he does. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Then he climbed a little further, and a little further, and then just a little further. By the time he had thought of another song, it's a very funny thought that if bears were bees, they'd build their nests at the bottom of trees. They'd build their nests at the bottom of trees. And that being so, if the bees were bears, we shouldn't have to climb up all those stairs. He was getting rather tired by this time, so that is why he sang a complaining song. He was nearly there now, and if he just stood on that branch, crack! Oh no, looks like he's falling down. He's falling down. Ah! He's falling down. Ah! That didn't look safe, did it? No. Oh, help, said Pooh. And he dropped 10 feet on the branch below him. If only I hadn't, he said, as he bounced 20 feet onto the next branch. You see what I meant to do. He explained as he turned head over heels and crashed onto another branch 30 feet below. What I meant to do, of course. It was rather, he admitted as he slithered very quickly through the next 6 branches. It all comes, I suppose, he decided as he said goodbye to the last branch, spun round 3 times and flew gracefully into a gorse bush. It all comes of liking honey so much. Oh, help! He crawled out of the gorse bush, brushed the prickles from his nose, and began to think again. And the first person he thought of was Christopher Robin. Christopher Robin. Was that me? Said Christopher Robin in an awed voice, hardly daring to believe it. That was you. Christopher Robin said nothing, but his eyes got larger and larger, and his face got pinker and pinker. His face got pinker and pinker. So Winnie the Pooh went round to his friend Christopher Robin, who lived behind a green door in another part of the forest. "Good morning, Christopher Robin," he said. "Good morning, Winnie the Pooh," said you. I wonder if you've got such a thing as a balloon about you. A balloon? Yes, I just said to myself coming along, I wonder if Christopher Robin has such a thing as a balloon about him. I just said it to myself, thinking of balloons and wondering. "What do you want a balloon for?" you said, Winnie the Pooh. Look around to see that nobody was listening, put his paws to his mouth, and said in a deep whisper, "Honey, honey." "But you don't get honey with balloons." "I do," said Pooh. "Well, it just happened that you had been to a party the day before at the house of your friend Piglet, and you had balloons at the party. You had a big green balloon, and one of Rabbit's relations had a big blue one and had left it behind, being really too young to go to a party at all, and so you had brought the green one and the blue one home with you. Which one would you like?" you asked Pooh. He put his head between his paws and he thought. Think, 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 think. Think, 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 think. "It's like this," he said. "When you go after honey with a balloon, the great thing is not to let the bees know you're coming. Now, if you have a green balloon, they might think you were only part of the tree and not notice you. And when that think you're part of the sky if you had a blue balloon and not notice you. And the question is, which is most likely? Thinking you're part of the sky because you have a blue balloon, or thinking you're part of the tree because you have a green balloon? Wouldn't they notice you underneath the balloon, you asked? "They might or they might not," said Winnie the Pooh. "You never can tell with bees." He thought for a moment and said, "I shall try to look like a small black cloud. That will deceive them." "Then you had better have the blue balloon," you said, and so it was decided. Well, you both went out with the blue balloon, and you took your gun with you just in case, as you always did, and Winnie the Pooh went to a very muddy place. And he knew of and rolled until he was black all over. And then when the balloon was blown up as big, and you and Pooh were both holding on to the string, you let go suddenly. And Pooh Bear floated gracefully up into the sky and stayed there level with the top of the tree and about 20 feet away from it. "Hooray!" you shouted. "Isn't that fine?" shouted Winnie the Pooh down to you. "What do I look like? You look like a bear holding on to a balloon, you said. Not, said Pooh anxiously, not like a small black cloud in a blue sky. Not very much. Ah, well, perhaps from up here it looks different. And, as I say, you never can tell with bees. There was no wind to blow him nearer to the tree, so there he stayed. He could see the honey, he could smell the honey, but he couldn't quite reach the honey. We are introduced after a while. He called down to you. We are introduced is the name of the chapter. Christopher Robin, he said in a loud whisper. Hello, hello. I think the bees suspect something. What sort of thing? I don't know. But something tells me that they're suspicious. Perhaps they think you're after their honey. It may be that. You never can tell with bees. There was another little silence, and then he called down to you again. Christopher Robin. Yes. Have you an umbrella in your house? I think so. I wish you would bring it out here and walk up and down with it and look up at me every now and then and say, tut, tut, it looks like rain. I think if if you did that, it would help the deception which we are practicing on these bees. And we're going to leave off on page 16 right there. He went and got the umbrella, and Pooh Bear is still dangling up there. He's still dangling. There may be something fall off. My grandson has put all manner of metal bugs on my book. This is called Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. We're going to read it as well. And then we'll pick up on page 16 next time with the big book of Winnie the Pooh. Now, it happened that Kanga had felt rather motherly that morning and wanted to count things like Rue's vests and how many pieces of soap there were left and the 2 clean spots in Tigger's feeder. So she had sent them out with a packet of watercress sandwiches for Rue and a packet of extract of malt sandwiches for Tigger to have a nice long morning in the forest, not getting into mischief, and off they had gone. And off they had gone. There's Winnie the Pooh again. And there's Tigger and Roo up in the tree. This is also a story by A.A. Milne. And this story cost 49 cents when I was a little girl. These little golden books are much more expensive now. 49 cents. This is one of my childhood books. And as they went, Tigger told Roo, who wanted to know all about the things that Tiggers can do. Can they fly? asked Roo. Yes, said Tigger. They're very good flyers. Tiggers are extraordinary good flyers. Oh, said Roo. Can they fly as well as Owl? Yes, said Tigger. Only they don't want to. Why don't they want to? Well, they just don't like it somehow. Roo couldn't understand this because he thought it would be lovely to be able to fly. But Tigger said it was difficult to explain to anybody who wasn't a Tigger himself. Well, said Roo, can they jump as far as Kangas? Yes, said Tigger. when they want to. I love jumping, said Roo. Let's see who can jump farthest, you or me. I can, said Tigger. But we mustn't stop now, or we shall be late. Late for what? For whatever we want to be in time for, said Tigger, hurrying on. Mustn't be late. In a while they came to the 6 pine trees, I can swim, said Roo. I fell into the river and I swimmed. Can Tiggers swim? Of course they can. Tiggers can do everything. Everything. Can they climb trees better than Pooh? Asked Roo, stopping under the tallest pine tree and looking up at it. Climbing trees is what we do best, said Tigger, much better than Pooh's. Could they climb this one? They're always climbing trees like that, said Tigger. Up and down all day, up and down, up and down. Oh, Tigger, are they really? I'll show you, said Tigger bravely, and you can sit on my back and watch me. For all the things which he had said Tiggers could do, and the only one he felt really certain about suddenly was climbing trees. Oh, Tigger, oh, Tigger, oh, Tigger, squeaked Roo excitedly. So he sat on Tigger's back, and up they went. And up they went. And for the first time, and for the first 10 feet, Tigger said happily to himself, up we go. And for the next 10 feet, he said, I always said Tiggers could climb trees. And for the next 10 feet, he said, not that it's easy, mind you. And for the next 10 feet, he said, of course there's coming down too. Backwards. And then he said, which will be difficult, unless one fell, when it would be easy. And at the word easy, the branch he was standing on broke suddenly, and he just managed to clutch at the one above him as he felt himself going. And then slowly he got his chin over it, and then one back paw, and then the other, until at last he was sitting on it, breathing very quickly, and wishing that he had gone in for a swimming. Instead, Roo climbed off and sat down next to him. Oh, Tigger, he said excitedly, are we at the top? No, said Tigger. Are we going to the top? No, said Tigger. Oh, said Roo rather sadly, and then he went on hopefully. Going to fall, bump to the bottom, and we didn't. Will you do that bit again? No, said Tigger. Roo was silent for a little while, and then he said, shall we eat our sandwiches, Tigger? And Tigger said, yes. Where are they? And Roo said, at the bottom of the tree. And Tigger said, I don't think we'd better eat them just yet. So they didn't. By and by, Pooh and Piglet came along. Look, Pooh. And said Piglet suddenly, there's something in one of the pine trees. So there is, said Pooh. Looking up wonderingly, there's an animal. Pooh, cried Piglet. I believe it's Tigger and Roo. So it is, said Pooh. Hello, Roo, called Piglet. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? We can't get down, we can't get down, cried Roo. Isn't it fun? Pooh, isn't it fun? Tigger and I are living in a tree like Owl, and we're going to stay here forever and ever. I can see Piglet's house. Piglet, I can see your house from here. Aren't we high? It's Owl's house. Is Owl's house as high up as this? How did you get there, Roo? How'd you get there, Roo? Do you remember how they got there? Tigger climbed them up the tree, right? On Tigger's back, and Tigger can't climb downwards because his tail gets in the way, only upwards. And Tigger forgot about he forgot about that when we started. And he's only just remembered. So we've got to stay here forever and ever, unless we go higher. What did you say, Tigger? Oh, Tigger says if we go higher, we shan't be able to see Piglet's house so well. So we're going to stop here. Piglet, said Pooh solemnly, when he had heard all this, what shall we do? And he began to eat Tigger's sandwiches. Are they stuck? Asked Piglet anxiously. Pooh nodded. Couldn't you climb up to them? I might, Piglet, and I might bring Roo down on my back, but I couldn't bring Tigger down, so we must think of something else. And in a thoughtful way, he began to eat Roo's sandwiches too. You know, you just can't think on an empty stomach. Whether he would have thought of anything before he had finished the last sandwiches or the last sandwich, I don't know. But he had just got to the last but one when there was a crackling in the bracken, and Christopher Robin and Eeyore came strolling along together. There's Christopher Robin and Eeyore. Christopher Robin and Eeyore. Eeyore's a donkey. I shouldn't be surprised if it hailed a good deal tomorrow. Eeyore was saying blizzards and whatnot. Being fine today doesn't mean anything. It has no sig. What's that word? Well, it has none of that. It's just a small piece of weather. There's Pooh, said Christopher Robin, who didn't much mind what it did tomorrow as long as he was out of it. Hello, Pooh. Hello. It's Christopher Robin, said Piglet. He'll know what to do. They hurried up to him. Oh, Christopher Robin, began Pooh and Eeyore and Eeyore. And Eeyore, said Eeyore. And Eeyore, said Eeyore. Tigger and Roo are right up the six pine trees, and they can't get down. And And I was just saying, put in Piglet, that if only Christopher Robin and Eeyore, if only you were here, then we could think of something to do. Christopher Robin looked up at Tigger and Roo and tried to think of something. I thought, said Piglet earnestly, that if Eeyore stood at the bottom of the tree, and if Pooh stood on Eeyore's back, and if I stood on Pooh's shoulders, and if Eeyore's back snapped suddenly, then we could all laugh. Ha ha! Amusing in a quiet way, said Eeyore, but not really helpful. Well, said Piglet meekly, I thought. Would it break your back, Eeyore? Asked Pooh, very much surprised. That's what would be so interesting, Pooh. Not being quite sure till afterwards, Pooh said, oh. And they all began to think again. I've got an idea, cried Christopher Robin suddenly. Christopher Robin's got an idea. Listen to this, Piglet, said Eeyore, and then you'll know what we're trying to do. I'll take off my tunic, and we'll each hold a corner, and then Roo and Tigger can jump into it, and it will be all soft and bouncy for them, and they won't hurt themselves. Getting Tigger down, said Eeyore. Getting Tigger down, said Eeyore, and not hurting anybody. Keep those two ideas in your head, Piglet, and you'll be all right. What do you think about that? Think it's going to work? Maybe. When Roo understood what he had to do, he was wildly excited and cried out, Tigger, Tigger, we're going to jump. Look at me jumping, Tigger. Like flying, my jumping will be. Can Tiggers do it? And he squeaked out, I'm coming, Christopher Robin. And he jumped straight into the middle of the tunic. There he comes, straight down. And he was going so fast that he bounced up again, almost as high as where he was before, and went on bouncing and saying, oh, for quite a long time. And then at last he stopped and said, oh, lovely. And they put him on the ground. Come on, Tigger, he called out. It's easy. Boing, boing, boing. He was bouncing. But Tigger was holding onto the branch and saying to himself, it's all very well for jumping animals like kangas, but it's quite different for swimming animals like Tiggers. And he thought of himself floating on his back down a river or striking out from one island to another, and he felt that that was really the life for a Tigger. Come on, called Christopher Robin. You'll be all right. Just wait a moment, said Tigger nervously. Small piece of bark in my eye, and he moved slowly along the branch. Ooh. Come on, it's easy, squeaked Roo. And suddenly Tigger found how easy it was. Oh, he shouted as the tree flew past him. Look out, cried Christopher Robin to the others. There was a crash and a tearing noise and a confused heap of everybody on the ground. Christopher Robin and Pooh and Piglet picked themselves up first, and then they picked Tigger up, and underneath everybody else was Eeyore. Oh, Eeyore, cried Christopher Robin, are you hurt? And he felt him rather anxiously, and dusted him and helped him to stand up again. Eeyore said nothing for a long time, and then he said, "Is Tigger there?" Tigger was there, feeling bouncy again already. "Yes," said Christopher Robin, "Tigger's here." "Well, just thank him for me," said Eeyore. And that is the end of our book. And there's that little train with Big Bird and Saggy Baggy Elephant and the little Pokey Puppy and Raggedy Ann and Mickey Mouse. And there's a tugboat. And there's Bert and Ernie and Bugs Bunny, the Saggy Baggy Elephant. So many. Bambi, the little engine that could. Yeah, and that was Winnie the Pooh. And I hope you enjoyed that story. And we'll read some more of the other version next time. We left off on page 16 of this one. We'll read more of it next time. I hope you enjoyed that story and those pictures. It's a cute book. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.